And it's playoff time, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Monroe Sports Network. John Kelly Jr., the SID for the Monroe Express double header basketball action. It is regional championship tournament time as we start off with the Monroe Mustangs here against ASA College, as Alexavia Smith, my producer and director. So the Mustangs right now, before here, our PA guy David Spiegel is mentioning, and we'll mention too, we're going to have, before the pregame, announcing the region winners, as well as sophomore night, which is what Coach Jeff Broadstead wanted to do. And he is officially, as you look there on your screen, Region Coach of the Year, again, was named on Sunday in that category. As Coach Brewstead trying to capture a 13th regional title, 8 appearances in the national championship and 8 district championships. As we will be honoring our sophomores this evening. So Melvin will be Brandon Hodge, and that one was, of course, Jaden Archer. And as mentioned here by Regional Awards, Braylon Joe, another sophomore, being honored. He got the Region 15 Sportsmanship Team alongside Kamar Lewis on ASA. Number 13, Gerald Campbell. And Gerard Campbell will be next. Then, of course, Hamdel Mohammed, who is a first-team All-Region 15, one of 2 being named today. And he will round out the sophomore day, and then we will have the regional announcements by David Spiegel. We'll go over them again as they came out here for Region 15. Alexavia Smith, my producer and director. I'm John Kelly Jr. Last time ASA College and Monroe Mustangs played, it was an OT. Mustangs dispatched ASA College previous meeting when it was here, 81-59, and head coach Jody King's squad really excited finally now to, after a pandemic year, get a chance to compete. Didn't get a chance to do it last year. Went through 10 games being canceled, but still able to get 12 wins and trying to play spoiler here against a perennial program in the Monroe College Mustangs. So David Spiegel will say it over the PA. If you cannot hear, we'll go right now with the first team all-region. You will see Melvin Council Jr., who got that award. And I guess they're going to start here with ASA first. So Alex Malbuena and Hakeem Grandin will be next. Both are the top players on ASA. Of course, Malbuena, leader in scoring at 15 points per game. Grandin, the leader in rebounding at 12.8 rebounds per game. And Tajay Kelton, who's been playing phenomenal for this squad at a 9.1 point per game clip, 4 double-figure games in his last 6, getting a first-team all-region, alongside Melvin Council Jr., who was the region player of the year. Right now, Melvin Council Jr. is number 1 in the country in points total at 717, 5th in point per game average at 23.9. Also, don't forget his field goals made and attempted coming into this one. Also tops in the country, 263 and 591. So Kamar Lewis will also get the Sportsmanship Team Award for ASA College. And Jeff Brewstead, the Coach of the Year in Region 15. So again, adding to his accolades, a coach that, no doubt about it, trying to help the Mustangs get back to the national championship. Of course, Mustangs, we were back in competition. Got beat in the District 3 title by Allegheny. So, of course, Jeff Brewstead trying to get back there, win that championship, go to the national championship. And he's got a loaded bunch and a team playing extremely well. And now you see him coming here on the floor is Melvin Council Jr., the Rochester product, 2-time NJCAA Player of the Week. And He's been unreal this year. Double figures in all 30 games in the regular season, 16 20-point games, 4 double-doubles, tops on the team, and has 2 30 spots in his last 3 games. So we will now have our national anthem as about to kick off here in the Region 15 semis here in Division I. So it is the Region 15 semifinals here in Division I. By the way, also, I'm John Kelly Jr., the SID of the Monroe Express. Go to YouTube, monroeexpress.com/watch, as the second game of this evening, the interborough rivalry between Chris Neely in his first full season coaching here, his Monroe Express at 19-9, single season record in wins, taking on the Bronx Broncos. That will follow up a rematch in this gym where the Broncos upended his squad and knocked them out of the polls for good for the season, as Chris Neely's squad is definitely trying to really come back and really prove to the country. They've proven it in our eyes, but proven that they're one of the top 15 in the country. And of course, they'll be the second seed in Region 15. That one will follow this one between the Monroe Mustangs and ASA. Well, as we see the Mustangs there in their starting lineup, Jody King, the head coach of ASA College, and his team, of course, did not play last year due to a pandemic, like most. Of course, just trying to get the team together. But previously, with ASA and how it was going, they were Division III, now moved up to Division I. And, of course, after that close loss at OT, they rallied back in that second half against the Mustangs, trying to knock them out, play spoiler here in this one, and move on. Harcum awaits the winner of this one. It'll be played at Westchester College on Friday, as Harcum in the top 10 in the country, and that'll be the key to the region. And of course, for the Mustangs or ASA College, whoever wins tonight in getting to the districts. Alex Xavier Smith, your producer and director. I'm John Kelly Jr. Doubleheader. It is playoff basketball, as the women for the Mustangs on the road. The Express will be hosting the entire Region 15 tournament this Saturday. Go to monroeexpress.com/watch. You can watch all the games, not just the Monroe Express. All of the teams going to be here for, as the Express top seed, first ever in time in program history. The head coach, Jeremy Thompson, has had his girls the top seed. They'll take on Bronx Community College. Hostos in Nassau will be the first one. Those games at 12-2, and then, of course, the men will follow at 4-6. So on the floor for the Mustangs, Melvin Council Jr., Hamdel Mohammed, first team All-Region Council Jr., Region Player of the Year, Braylon Joe, and the Swede, Isaac Angstrand, on the floor for the Mustangs. Winners of 3 straight, 24-6, as Balbuena. Akeem Crandon, 4 straight double-digit rebound games, so you're going to have to keep him off the boards, as both of those Region 15 first-team selections. Jonathan Langisi Ombongo, the team's leader in assists and steals. And the 5 as the tip is off, and here we go. Well, it was a close first half it was the last time these two teams played. Mustangs trying to get out to a quick start. Here is Mohammed to Joe. Sportsmanship winner to Onstrand, back to Joe. Zone shown already here as ASA going to really try to make sure you keep it away from Melvin Council Jr. Didn't help as he had a season high in field goals made and assisted in that OT win a couple weeks ago. 4 to shoot. Joe connects as Onstrand with the assist. So the Mustangs open the scoring. Offensively, we know it begins with Balbuena, but bringing it up the floor, Jonathan Linguisi Ombongo is the chef of this offense, leader with 107 assists. Yaw out to Balbuena for 3. That rims out. Big rebound by Hamdel Mohammed. Man with 2 double-doubles this year. And that 3 off the back iron from Joe as Kelton opened the scoring. 2-0 score. Linguisi Ombongo into the front court as he is watched by Joe. That pass broken up. Now Melvin Council Jr. puts on the accelerator. Trying to take it on in. Good stop there by Ombongo. Onstrand. Joe, Council Jr. Kelton on the drive to the baseline. Mohammed. That one rims out, and the rebound corralled by Akeem Crandon. Coming into this one, sporting 4 straight games with double-digit rebounds. That is 222nd tops on the team for the Avengers. Linguisi Ombongo thinks about a 3 and connects as ASA takes the lead by 1. Quick push now from the Mustangs. Ostrand out to Braylon Joe, the Houston native, second with 78 assists coming in as a foul underneath. And it'll be the first of the game and to ASA. As Kumar Lewis, who also won the Region Sportsmanship Award on the foul, his first. Inbound coming left of the bucket. Inbound now to Kelton. Onstrand out for Council Jr. trying the baseline. They're going to force it away from number 1 as much as possible. Others are going to have to step up, and they can. Onstrand for 3 off the mark. Hamdel Mohammed picks it up. Then got stripped. So he turns it over. Big steal by Alex Balbuena, and a chance now for ASA to extend their lead. Gisia Bongo, good double. Fires it over the head of Israel Yah. So it'll be a turnover, and it'll go back here to the Mustangs. ASA, 3 players that average 10 or more points per game. Yah at 12.5 points per game. That's 3rd on the team. He's their key defensive leader with 30 blocks, tops on the squad coming in that category. Onstrand to Mohammed. Give and go, Council. Keeps his footing. Onstrand down the baseline, feeds Mohammed. Got to go up, hook shot. Off the mark, went out of the hands of Kelton, and the board got by Lewis. ASA, one thing you want to do, put the pressure, take it to this Mustang squad. Find open looks, knock them down, and just keep going with it. Turnovers will not help against a team here that averages over 80 points per game. And a charge called on Akeem Grandin. Good defense by Hamdel Mohammed, who has really come alive. 5 straight double-figure games coming into this one for the Bronx native. And of course, one of the sophomores being honored beforehand. And really, playing time was limited, really just because of an attitude adjustment. That's what Jeff Broadstead had told me, because you just can see how talented this kid is. Came off the bench for that double-double earlier in the year, 18 and 16 against Howard Community College. Ball pinballs to Onstrand, then a shot by Council Jr. got blocked. Rebound by Linguisi Ombongo. And now Lewis. Linguisi Ombongo. Underneath. And that one denied. Great block by Hamdel Mohammed. In transition comes Melvin Council Jr. Kelton out to Council Jr. 5th in the country in scoring average, top on the team at 23.9 points per game. Kelton fadeaway, good! Is Onstrand with the assist, and just 7 total points. The first 4.5 minutes of this one. John Kelly Jr., Alexavia Smith, my producer and director, as it is the semifinals of Region 15. Winner of this one will take on Harcum at Westchester College on Friday, as the women are on the road in their regional battle later this week for the Mustangs. John Kelly Jr., the SID of the Monroe College Express basketball doubleheader. You can switch over from this Mustang YouTube channel to the Express one. Just go to monroeexpress.com/watch, as Chris Neely, a former JV coach for the Monroe Mustangs, in his first full season, team sporting season and program best in a single season. Markin wins 19-9, second seed in the Region 15 tournament. They'll have their quarterfinal matchup here at home against Bronx Community College following us here. As Fred Rijos checks in for the first time. So Lewis, Gricio Bongo, Yaw, and Grandin in the 5, and he gets rejected by Kelton. Yaw on the hook shot. That is short, and Joe with the defensive board. It's his second of the game as it's outletted to Hamden Muhammad. He's rejected by Yaw. His 31st block. Tops on the team. Joe denies that entry pass. Yaw elevates to Grandin, knocked away. Steal by Onstrand. Just 7 points now through the first 5 minutes. Both teams feeling each other out. Tight defensively. Just 69 points per game. ASA averages is Melvin Council Jr. Driving, floater. Oh, it's pretty from the Rochester native. As Monroe now leads by 3. Council Jr. had 34 the last time these two teams played, and an OT win by the Mustangs on the road. Rijos, Crandon, hook shot, off the mark. Joe with the board, pushing in transition. Spins, hands to Kelton for 3. That off the right rim, and another board by Crandon. We're sure to see him with a ton of those. One of ASA's 2 first-team All-Region 15 selections. Lewis trying to go to Crandon underneath. Stick goes to him at the elbow, and he just drills it towards Yaw. And again, when you're taking on a team as explosive as Jeff Brosted's squad, you just cannot turn it over like ASA. That's the second for Crandon, and it'll go over here for the Mustangs. So Onstrand will step off. As Keith Warren Jr. will check in, another Rochester native. Kelton Joe. Gordon also in that 5 as well. And Council Jr. as Warren Jr. could not knock down. Just a 3-point game. ASA trying to get some consistency at least here offensively, as a foul called to Gordon. That is his first. So that'll be the first to Monroe. And an inbound now coming from Aaron Tashi. Crandon, Wingisi Ombongo. Yaw, Rijos in the 5. Another turnover by ASA. So they have 6 already in this one, just 1 for the Mustangs. Braylon Joe. Now it's the Kelton driving. Lay-in is good. As Ty J has been phenomenal down the stretch here. 3 of his double-figure games out of the 3 double-figure games of the 4 against ranked opponents, as he had 12 in that loss to Harcum. They faced the winner of this one. And playing well, really earning that Region 15 selection. Now Rijos, watched by Keith Warren Jr. Tashi to Yaw. That one pinballs out. Warren Jr. with it. Flies it up ahead to Joe. Puts it through his legs. Nice feed, Kelton. He'll go for 3. That one off the iron and rebounded by Melvin Council Jr. Reset on the shot clock. 229th rebound for the Rochester product. Tops on the team, and that one turned over. And jump ball called right off of it. So Yaw with the steal, and it will go over here to ASA with 12:42 to go. 5-point lead for the Mustangs. As Balbuena coming in, 19 double-figure games for him this year. Team leader at 15 points per game. And Joe will step off. See the first action from Keon Gill. Rijos, Balbuena, he's got to get going for ASA to have a shot. And how about that one to start it off? A lefty lay-in, basically fired it around the defender. As ASA within 3. Now Melvin Council Jr. to set up. Has gotten in double figures in all 30 games this year. Keith Warren Jr., like Council Jr., has had a couple 30-pointers, 2 this year. His shot off the mark. Gordon gets the board, cannot make it, and Warren Jr. connects on the offensive glass, getting the offensive rebound and point. And Monroe back to a 5-point lead. Continuing that trap, trying to pressure all the entry passes. Crandon gets it, drills underneath. Yaw puts it home. So an assist for Crandon, and the lead now down to 3. Council Jr. trying to rush too quickly. Good job to keep it alive. Gill looked like he got hacked hard by Yaw. Cannot connect. He has the defensive board. Now Balbuena, can he turn it into points? No! Gill with the rejection. Oh, baby. Warren Jr. Kelton has an open lane to go down. He's rejected. So back-to-back blocks by both teams. Crandon on that block. His 27th, his 3rd on the team, and he now has his 2nd foul. He thought he had drawn contact for a 3-point play. And Crandon with 3 rebounds in this one. That's his 2nd foul. He's really the crucial part of the team down low, and he also can help neutralize such a prolific scorer in Council Jr. And Rijos will check off, so Crandon gonna sit there. Alfredo Pedra coming in. Balbuena, Yaw, and Linguisi Amango in the 5 for ASA. And we'll stay here with the Mustangs as Gerald Campbell, 6'1" from Brooklyn, New York in here. Sophomore night as well. Hamdel Mohammed, Warren Jr., Melvin Council Jr., Gill in the 5. Melvin Council Jr., it's just when can he get started? As Warren Jr.'s 3 off the mark. And there'll be a foul now given to ASA, so that is their 4th. Keith Warren Jr., Campbell to Gill, cross to Melvin Council Jr. 3 ball is good! Melvin Council Jr. As now Monroe with an 8-point lead, largest in this one for them. 3, ASA needs it. Cannot be knocked down by Linguisi Bongo, but a great second chance point put down on the lay-in by Yaw. Now have ASA within 4 as Council Jr. cannot connect. Campbell's follow no good. Tries for a 2nd try, but foul beforehand. So we'll see if he's in the process of shooting. As that'll be the 5th ASA foul. And just correction here, as it's now a 4-point game. As scoreboard and our live stats just a little messy just for once. So a 4-point game right now. Council Jr. pulls up, short, and the rebound of Linguisi Bongo. Balbuena. The Pedra out to Balbuena. He's got to get going for this squad. Team leader also with 3s made at 19. Pesci. Linguisi Bongo on the drive from Melvin Council Jr. Balbuena, he's got to go with it. 8 to shoot. Puts it through his legs. Pulls up. Off the back iron. Gets his own offensive rebound. So a fresh set. Shot clock for ASA. Linguisi Bongo to Yaw. Pulls up and connects. So ASA within 2. Good job there by Balbuena to get that offensive board, and that's what it translates into as a turnover by Melvin Council Jr. Now we will have Fred Rijos come in. First action from Jerome Famous as well. So Yaw and Hakeem Grandin on the bench. Yaw, of course, the leader in blocks, coming in with 30. Grandin, the leading rebounder for ASA, lets you know 2 fouls already. Cannot get into foul trouble. A game like this against a team as deep as this Mustang team. Linguisi Mbongo, good job to draw contact on Warren Jr. So that would be the second foul to the Mustangs. Famous, Tashi, Rijos, and Balbuena in the 5. And first to 2 here, Linguisi Mbongo, and he makes the first. .8% the Avengers shoot from the free throw line. They go 100% there. As Linguisi Mbongo has now tied this one up at 13, so even score again. As ASA battling around here. Council Jr. for 3. Good! So all 6 of his points have been from deep. As the Mustangs back up by 3. Tashi had an open shot if he wanted it, then just throws it away from Famous. Another turnover, and one that was really unwarranted as Tashi had an open shot. So just a little bit of thinking by ASA, a little too much. And with 8:42 to go, still a 3-point game. Melvin Council Jr. with 8. Of course, 6 of those coming on threes. Linguisi Mbongo with 6. He's the leading scorer for ASA. Nice job by Campbell down low. Turned away by Famous on the block. 8:20 to go. ASA can tie with a 3 on this possession. Linguisi Mbongo with 6. Balbuena for the tie. That off the back iron. Famous a big offensive board. And the more offensive rebounds you continue to get here by ASA, longer you can make this game, the chances you have to beat this Mustang squad. You got to win it on the boards. Rijos, 4-3. That does not go, but he has 3 free throws coming that could get us tied with 7:55 to go as the crowd starts to pack in here to the Monroe Athletic Complex. This is the regional semifinals for the D1 squads here in Region 15. Harcum will await the winner of this one. Mustangs trying to get back to the district championship, won the region last time they were competing. They defeated Harcum to do that, as Rijos cannot make the first of 2. Now goes 2 for 3. It's a 3-shot foul. Of course, Monroe has not had 1 free throw attempt yet. And Rijos connects on 2 of 3, so he gets it to a 1-point game with 7:54 to go. Monroe led by as much as 6. Now just a 1-point game. Low scoring first half as ASA trying to limit the possessions. Council Jr. connects from 3, his 3rd knockdown, and he is in double figures for the 31st time this year. Went double figures in all 30 during the regular season. Great job by Campbell to get that steal. Council Jr. Keith Warren Jr. to Council Jr. for 3. Why not when Melvin is smoking? As he has his 4-3 knockdown, and just like that, what was a 1-point game, 6 straight from Council Jr., and the lead now to 7 for the Mustangs, largest it has been. Famous trying to go up, off the mark. Council Jr. with the board. Melvin kicks out. Warren Jr. for 3. That one off the back iron. Linguisi Mbongo, the strongest player here for ASA in this first half. Outlets to Rijos. Lost control of it. can't get it back on the floor. Who has it? It's a hot potato between both squads. And Luguisi Mbongo keeps it alive from being a turnover. Then Famous threw that off of Warren Jr. and the bench of the Mustangs loving that. As we will have the first appearance from Nikola Danicic. As Danicic joins Mohammed Council Jr., Keith Warren Jr., Keon Gill in the 5 for the Mustangs. This is a 1-point game. Mustangs got 6 straight from the guy defending on a one-on-one on Rijos. Now they call an illegal screen against Famous. So Mustangs with their largest lead here in the first half by 7. Now this possession can get it even larger. Of course, a big story here for ASA, their top rebounder, all Region 15 first team selection, Akeem Crandon on the bench, 2 fouls already here in this first half. Alex Balbuena trying to get going offensively, has not been able to. The man with 19 double-figure games for this squad. Danicic trying to motor through, had trouble handling and turns it over, steal by Luguisi Mbongo. Now Rijos able to fly it over Melvin Council Jr. And Jody King going to call a timeout as his team gets it down to a 5-point game. Here's 6 minutes here in this first half. You really have to be honest, you'd be probably surprised the fact, if you're following the live stats, but if you're just watching, there aren't any free throws at all here for the Mustangs. They led by as much as 7. This game's been back and forth affair. But Melvin Council Jr. now 14 points here in this first half. A phenomenal game. He was huge in OT, 34 points the last time against ASA. And Israel Yaw with 6 points. Both him and Luguisi Mbongo, the key scorers. Of course, for Jody King's squad, Alex Balbuena, Akeem Crandon, if they want to win tonight and knock off this Mustang squad, they have to stay in the game. If Balbuena can't score, if Crandon is in foul trouble, it's going to be tough. So out of the ASA timeout. Trying to get this down, get this close. Danicic, Warren Jr., Mohammed, Onstrand just checked in. Melvin Council Jr., 14 points, leading all scorers. He gets it from Keith Warren Jr. Both of them Rochester natives. Both also with 30-point games this year, too. Warren Jr. had 2 of them earlier in the year, has an open 3 look, and he connects! 8-point lead for the Mustangs, largest it has been. Last 3 field goals they have knocked down have all been 3-pointers, 2 from Council Jr., and that one from Keith Warren Jr. That was his 5th point today. Rijos, the Balbuena. Luguisi Mbongo connects from 3. I think I'd look to number 10 if I were ASA, because he seems to be the most confident shooter and scorer on the floor. Onstrand for 3. That off the back iron. Danicic tried to get the offensive board. It was knocked away from him. So they'll score it as a defensive dead ball, an offensive dead ball. And Rijos will check off Lewis in the game. Anthony Henderson's first action. Balbuena, Tashi, and Luguisi Mbongo in the 5 for ASA. 12-9. Chance for them finally to be back in the region playoffs. Missed it because of COVID. Made it the previous year, but only as a D3 squad, as Hamdel Mohammed can't put home the second chance point. Danicic, great job there to get the offensive board. Council Jr., 3-ball, off the back iron. Hamdel Mohammed gets it back and draws contact. And this will be the first set of free throws that the Mustangs will have all night. Seven is the largest they have led by. And Mohammed now at the line. Connects on the first of 2. He is second here in free throws made and attempted. 54 and 110. Man with 5 straight double-figure games. 4 double-figure games as we started the new year. 3 of us, of course, 4 to start the year, were in the first couple of games, came off the bench for a double-double, and he connects there on 2 free throws as he's been playing outstanding 5 straight double-figure games. That game against Harcum, in which the Mustangs lost, season highs in field goals made and attempted, 12 and 19 in that one. Of course, the winner of this one takes on Harcum, Westchester College, on Friday, the region championship. Mustangs have been a dominant fixture here in Region 15. It's the semifinals. It's Linguisi Mbongo for 3. That rims out. Hamdel Muhammad with the board. That's his 5th of this game. Council Jr. Onstrand underneath, and Muhammad trucked over Linguisi Mbongo, so that will be the 4th Monroe foul. And Braylon Joe will check in for Keith Warren Jr., Onstrand, Danicic. Melvin Council Jr., Hamdel Muhammad. In the 5, Linguisi Mbongo, Balbuena, Lewis, Tashi, and Yaw back in the game. Still no Akeem Crandon. 2 fouls in this one, as great take by Balbuena, finally getting some space to operate, and a 3-point play opportunity here for ASA. Well, Balbuena had 15 the last time these two teams met. Six 20-point games this year, tops on this team, and he connects on a 3-point play. It was a 7-point lead. Now it's down to 4. Key for ASA is getting stops. Onstrand for 3. That off the left rim. Gordon couldn't corral. Instead, the offensive board goes to Council Jr. Melvin to Braylon Joe. Keeps his footing, trying to go underneath. 10 to shoot. Onstrand driving. The Swede goes up. That cannot go. Rebound by Yaw. The 6th rebound for Israel in this game. Lewis out to Balbuena. This is really crucial now. ASA has shown the ability to get stops. They got to score on the other end. Balbuena against Council Jr. Plants, fade away. That off the back iron. Great rebound by Joe. Trying to push it behind his back, kicks out. Onstrand for 3. That off the back iron, and Linguisi Mbongo with a huge board. Outlets to Lewis, he cannot handle. And we will go over here to the Mustangs with 2:49 to go. So 12th ASA turnover, just 5 for the Mustangs. Well, ASA has done what they wanted to do defensively. Held the Mustangs to just 27% shooting. Rosted-style team had shot over 40%, riding a 3-game winning streak. Also defeated ASA the last time these two teams played after defeating Lackawanna College in 2 OTs, 103-95. 2:40 to go. Onstrand. Council Jr., Kelton. Joe Gordon in the 5. Kelton. 9 to shoot. Tries to get it back from Gordon. It touched the hand of Tashi. So Joe will do the inbounding. Joe also a very good passer as well. 5 assists against Monroe Community College. Of course, that's the team in Rochester, the Tribunes, and he gets one here as Kelton with the lay-in. 6-point lead for the Mustangs. First assist for Joe, 8 points for Kelton. Council Jr. leads all scorers with 14. Linguisi Mbongo leading all scorers with 8 for ASA. Lewis balloons it. Linguisi Mbongo can't do anything about it. 13th turnover for ASA. And now Amari Frederick will step in. He'll replace Tashi as Linguisi Mbongo, Balbuena. And now finally, Hakeem Crandon, they need this guy in the game. 2 fouls have kept the leading rebounder on ASA on the bench for a majority of this first half. Lewis joining this 5 for ASA. 6-point lead for Monroe. They've led by as much as 7 as David Gordon could not knock that down. Then he's rejected by Crandon on the second try. 1:38 to go. Number 10's who you should dial up here if you're Jody King. That's what he'll try to do, except he draws a charge. Gets a charge, drawn nicely by Gordon. Good blue-collar work. And for Linguisi Omongo, that'll be his second foul. So Yaw with 2 fouls, Crandon with 2. Of course, Crandon and Yaw key to the defense for ASA. Yaw with 31 blocks, tops on the team. Onstrand to Kelton on the baseline, 1:23 to go. Onstrand out to Gordon, trying to go to Joe, has it, tries to go up with the lay-in, short. And Yaw with the rebound. As 1:10 to go here in the first half. Possessions have had to be earned. 38% to 27%. ASA is outshot Monroe, but they are still trailing by 4 as Yaw knocking down there for 2. So he now leads all scores with 9. Kelton cannot connect, trying to get his own board, cannot. Frederick with the defensive board, and now at 42 seconds to go, there'll be a 16-second shot clock, the game clock advantage. So if you're Jody King, try to draw something up here, wane the clock down, you're going into halftime. At best, down by 1, but at least by a possession. 38 seconds to go. Henderson directing traffic to Israel Yaw. Head fakes on Gordon. Then lost control as Gordon able to recover and grab the steal. 28 seconds to go. Joe, Onstrand, extra feed. Kelton trying to reverse it. Cannot. Onstrand a big offensive board. Joe, 16 seconds to go. Be a great way for the Mustangs to close here. Up by 4, trying to extend it to a 6 or 7-point game. 6 to go in the first half. Council Jr., 3 to go. 2, out to Joe, 3 at the horn. Got it! Like butter! And Monroe will go into halftime up by 7, 32 to 25 as they cash in, of course, that offensive rebound by Isaac Onstrand, the key. And after the first 20, it's a 7-point lead for the Mustangs here in the Region 15 semifinals of D1 here on the Monroe Mustangs Sports Network. We'll come back from halftime, give you some halftime stats, but for right now we'll go into it as the marching band here tonight will play me out. As at halftime it's 32 for the Mustangs, 25 for ASA. You're watching Region 15 semifinals basketball here on the Monroe Mustangs Sports Network. And we're back here with the second half of action. So 32-25, the Mustangs led. Able to finish really strong to that half. Here is Melvin Council Jr. Led all scorers with 14. Feeds Kelton. He's rejected by Yaw. Gets his offensive rebound. Out to Joe. 3-ball. That airballed. And Lewis will be able to grab it. 40.9% ASA shot. Mustangs shot under 30%, yet they still led at the half by 7. Rebounds are 24-22 Mustangs. Just 2 Mustang free throws as that one turned over. Council Jr. in transition. And he got fouled before going up, so the first to ASA. Of course, they rallied the last time these two teams played, and they're not out of it by any stretch. This is just what Jody King would want. Nice, tightly contested game. He got that at home. His team rallied in the second half to force OT. But again, it's about keeping up score for score with Jeff Brosted's squad. And when they get hot shooting, it can be almost impossible to stop them. As ASA continuing to just work a zone, make the shots have to come from the outside, and a big steal by Balbuena. He's got to get going for this squad. His floater, good, great start by ASA as Balbuena with 7. Linguisi Ombongo there in that first half at 8 points. Yaw with 8. Underneath, Danicic. Nice head fake. Fade away. That off the back iron. Kelton can't get it, and the defensive board by Balbuena. Outlets to Linguisi Obongo. Keem Grandin on the floor. Lewis. Yaw, all net 5 for ASA. 12-9, trying to get to the regional final. Harcum awaits both of these squads. The top 10 ranked Harcum Bears, team that the Mustangs defeated. The regionals, when there was last of basketball season, as Linguisi Obongo cannot connect. Rebound by Council Jr. in transition. Melvin. Oh, it's so beautiful, coast to coast. So both teams knocking down a field goal apiece. 7-point lead here for the Mustangs. This is right where they put ASA away the last time these two teams played. It was close. Then, of course, Mustangs took a double-digit lead in the halftime and just ran away with the second half in that 81-59 victory. Shot 50% from the field. Mustangs have shot under 30 in this one, but winning by 7. Lewis. Linguisi Ombongo, 3 to shoot. They got to let it off. Balbuena, that looks like an up and down. We call it multiple things, a traveling violation. And we'll go over here to the Mustangs as Gordon will check in for Danicic. Onstrand, Council Jr., Kelton, and Joe in the 5. For the Mustangs, Linguisi Obongo, Yaw, Lewis, Grandin. Balbuena in the 5 for ASA as he gets the defensive board. Balbuena with his 4th rebound of this one. Trying to direct traffic. Driving. And draws contact on Joe. Fans not happy with that one. So that'll be the first Mustang foul, and Balbuena to the line for the Avengers. That win against Toro College, 756, shot 41% from the field. Balbuena 17 in that one. As he connects on 1 of 2, misses the other one. As the lead, 6 here for the Mustangs. Trying to get back to the regional final. As Onstrand had it stripped by Linguisi Obongo. Now Balbuena trying to turn it into points. Scoop lane, hit the bottom of the bucket. Follow can't go from Lewis. Grandin had it knocked out, but Lewis there to back him up. Now Grandin, he's got to get going scoring-wise, except you can't travel, and that is what he does, and it goes over now to the Mustangs. Mustangs have kept their turnovers under 10. As Joe Hands the Council Junior. 16, leads all scorers, 14 of those in the first half. He's 18 away from the 34 he did last time against this squad. Council Junior connects. It's just so pretty. Fake dip bury. And he's 2 away from his 17th 20-point performance this year. He's had 2 30-point games in his last 3. Man who's 5th in the country coming in here with a 23.9 point per game spot. Crandon moving in, cannot get it to go, draws the foul on Gordon. So it'll be the second Monroe foul. And ASA with some free throws upcoming. Well, Akeem Crandon mentioned coming in playing really well. 4 straight double-digit rebound games. 23 was his season high against Suffolk Community College. Of course, Suffolk Community College, not a bad loss for Jody King's squad. Number 14 in the country. They are the top seed in the Division III Region 15 tournament. They're taking on BMCC up there in Selden, New York. Second seed will be the Monroe Express. And this doubleheader, they follow this one as Chris Neely, a former JV coach with over 100 wins which is 100 wins for this Mustangs JV program. Now running the Express, his team, 19 wins, a single season mark. And they'll try to get it done as the second seed against 7th seeded Bronx Community College. Blocks aplenty here for ASA. They're able to make the defensive plays. They just have to get the scoring going. Hopefully Lewis can get that going, and Jody King will talk it over with his troops. As Alexavia Smith, my producer and director, I'm John Kelly Jr. As the Mustangs are going to go back to the region final. Of course, both of these squads, no basketball last year due to the pandemic, both very happy to be in it. ASA really had to fight through the fact of 10 games being canceled this year. Like most people, kind of rearranged schedules, able to get 12 wins. Mustangs rolling as always under head coach Jeff Brostad, Region 15 Coach of the Year. And no doubt about it, guy right now is coached 13 Division I All-Americans in the National Junior College ranks. May have one here in Melvin Council Jr. We'll see what of course, the voting comes down to, but he wins Region Coach of the Year. All good here for Monroe. Of course, sophomore night, trying to send all their sophomores out on a high note, and it has been that way here. Despite possessions and shooting being tough, just 14 of 50 Monroe has shot, 28%, but they're leading by 6, and that, as they say, is the key at the end of the day. On the scoreboard, if you have more than the other, that's what matters. So, IG Kelton will inbound out of this timeout by ASA. He had a career-high 19 points against Niagara Community College. 4 double-figure games in his last 6 as Joe Onstrand, Hamdel Mohammed, one of the other region first-team selections for the Mustangs, joining another one, and Council Jr., who connects from 3. Melvin with 21 points, his 17th 20-point game of the season. Now has 739 points total. That's number 1 in the United States standing right now. Crandon driving, hook shot is good. So Crandon finally getting on the score sheet. As it's still just a 7-point game. We've yet to see what I like to call the Mustang Gallop, and how they're able to just really find a midpoint of a game and just put you away. ASA has made every possession tough, but that doesn't stop Council Jr., and he will inbound. Whether you need him to put away a game or lead a comeback, he can do it all, drawing a foul on Lewis. Of course, that Brunswick Community College Holiday Classic, he was phenomenal. Led this team against Cape Fear Community College to a victory. 30 points, 18 rebounds. Melvin Council Jr. just 3 assists short of a triple-double in that one. As Kelton to Joe. Council Jr. Mismatch as he knows. Fadeaway 3, that's short. Kelton battling for the rebound. That should be an offensive dead ball, and it will be, so we'll stay with the Mustangs. As a flop called by the officials. As Joe on the inbound, on Strand. Out to Council Jr. Onstrand also a great three-point shooter, 54 made this year, second on the team. At one point he led in that category. As Council Jr. can't get it to go. And he will go to the free throw line as these will just be the third and fourth attempts tonight for the Mustangs. As Melvin at the free throw line. And he connects on the first of two. Shout out to his family in Rochester as our SID, at least the Monroe Mustangs SID David Spiegel said avid watchers, and why not? One of the players in the country you really should pay a ticket to admission to watch as he goes 2 for 2, the lead to 9 for the Mustangs, largest it has been. ASA was within 1, and then Melvin Council Jr. really put it together to help get some distance as that one missed by Yaw, followed by Crandon over the board, backboard that is, and no good, and it will go over here to the Mustangs with 13:32 to go. On Strand. Driving on Balbuena, and one pass too many as it's taken away by Linguisi Ombango. And Yaw can't connect in transition, but he'll have 2 free throws coming. And now a whistle by the officials. And so a foul on Braylon Joe. That's his second, of course. It'll be a 3-point play opportunity because it was a goaltending. So Yaw can knock this down, just a 6-point game. And that one pinballs out. Joe with the rebound. Braylon in transition. Spinning out to Council Jr. Good job by Linguisi Ombango to take him out. Joe underneath. Muhammad counted in the foul as he gets it over Yaw. And Hamdal Muhammad with an opportunity at a big 3-point play. Second assist by Joe, and he has 4 points. That, of course, the fourth foul of Kumar Lewis. One of the 2 Region 15 sportsmanship team winners. And he will come off, and Aaron Tashi will come in. As Hamdal Muhammad trying to convert from the free throw line. Against Howard Community College, had that buzzer-beating tip-in, really. Finally got his head settled a bit. Of course, Coach Brostad said this kid's as talented as ever. It was about attitude and just finding a light bulb and not playing him as much really down the stretch. He got it together. 5 straight double-figure games coming in. Cannot convert on that free throw, but he does get 2 in the lead at 9. Largest it has been here for the Mustangs. Linguisi Ombango. Short on that, Jay. Now it's Council Jr. Shakes by 1 on Balbuena. Melvin Council Jr. with a beautiful teardropper over an arm and down. He has 25 points, 5 away from another 30-point game. It'll be his third in the last 4 as Kelton draws a jump ball on Yaw. So we'll stay with ASA. Lead now to 11. Balbuena. Tashi. Linguisi Ombango. Balbuena's got to get going. 5 to shoot. Spins. The first team all-region lost control. It's that one taken away by Warren Jr. And Melvin Council Jr. can't score in transition, but he'll go to the charity stripe. He had 19 when there was a blowout between these two teams last time here at the Monroe Athletic Complex, as it's been close all night. Of course, Mustangs were able to kind of put some space, take a 25-point lead with 9:39 to go. And we're just about 2.5 away from that same mark. Still close as Council Jr. makes the first of two. Of course, goes in another free throw down, shooting 82%. That's second on the team. Came in leaders in free throws made and attempted as well. He now has 27 points, 3 away from 3 30-point games in his last 4. The type of basketball you want to be playing when it comes to playoff time. Yaw on Kelton, pulls up, short. Tajay with a great rebound. Now, Council Jr. underneath, Muhammad puts it home. Lead now to 15. As ASA got to try to stop the bleeding somewhat. 8-0 Monroe run. Can it continue? Linguisi Bongo on his legs. Had that one stolen by Kelton. And he throws it off the foot, so a jump ball. It will stay with Monroe on an 8-0 run right now, the Mustangs. 8 from Kelton, 27 from Melvin Council Jr. Joe will come out. Keon Gill comes in. Warren Jr., Council Jr., and Muhammad. Kelton in the 5, and a timeout going to be taken here by Jody King and his ASA Avengers squad, as they right now really want to draw something up, try to get down this 15-point deficit, largest they have faced. Try to get a shot here towards the end and not let this one get away. 12-9 this year for ASA. Of course, they moved up to Division I. Last year, a couple of years ago when they were playing, they were Division III. And they, of course, we've seen now with all the COVID and everything, a lot of changes within Region 15. Certain teams moving to D2, others staying in D3. As we have 8 seeds in the D3 area of Region 15. The number 2, you may have seen walking in, are our own Monroe Express. I am their SID, John Kelly Jr. on the call here for the Mustangs. I'll be scoring that one. Go to monroeexpress.com/watch, as Chris Neely, formerly a JV coach here with over 100 wins for the Mustangs, is the new head coach in town. His first year team, 19 wins. A single season mark. That broke one set a couple seasons ago when Gian Batista, an alum named CUNY Player of the Year, now at Lehman College, the senior. And a bevy of scorers on that squad playing well. Obviously, it all starts with Isaiah Stone, who leads the nation in total rebounds, with Josiah Barnes setting a single season mark in assists with 120 plus in the top 10. And they'll be taking on rival Bronx Community College as the 2nd seed against the 7th seed. That one follows this one. Mustangs trying to put the knockout blow into ASA on an 8-0 run after ASA had this 41-34. Just 9 ASA points here in the second half. Balbuena has been unable to get started as Linguisi Bongo with the steal on Gill. Balbuena lays it home, so that's key scoring. They're going to need Balbuena to step up more and more. And good job there out of that timeout, ASA, to get a turnover, getting points off of it. Now, Warren Jr. pulls up. That one hits the back iron. Big offensive board by Kelton. 8 points for him this evening. Named first team All Region 15. Council Jr. Head fakes. Looks underneath. Gill able to keep it alive to Warren Jr. Underneath the Mohammed. Hit a pair of fingers, and the last one to touch it was a Mustang. So back to ASA it goes. Monroe dominating the rebounds here by just 2, 32-30. They have 17 offensive rebounds. We've been tied just once and just 2 total lead changes, as Mustangs have led the majority of this one. As Yaw throws it down on the assist from Crandon. So ASA out of that timeout. Now their bench comes alive. They've gotten what was a 15-point deficit, largest they faced, down to 11. Council Jr., Keith Warren Jr., Hamdel Muhammad kicks out. 3 ball, no good by Keon Gill, but Kelton with a big offensive board. Gill to Muhammad, and a reach-in called on Yaw. So that will be the 6th ASA foul. One more, and it'll be a 1-on-1 situation. As Keith Warren Jr. out to Kelton, 3 ball. That off the back iron, and Crandon with the defensive board, and then they're going to call a foul here on Muhammad, as he thought he had a turnover. So that is Hamdel's 4th. That's the 7th rebound for Crandon, and he'll be kept in the game. And now it looks like we'll see David Gordon come in for him. Linguisi Obongo. Crandon. He just lost control of it, held it too long. Flipped up by Muhammad to Keith Warren Jr. Underneath, Gill lays it home. Big 2-pointer, and the lead now to 13. 15 is the largest that the Mustangs have led by, outscoring ASA 19-13 here in this second half, as the Mustangs trying to get to the region final. They won it against Harcum the last time they competed before the pandemic. And the top 10 ranked Bears will await the winner of this one on Friday at Westchester College. As Gordon will check in for Hamdel Muhammad, Keith Warren Jr., Melvin Council Jr., who leads all scorers in this one with 27. 2 players in double figures for ASA. Yaw, one of them with 12, leading the way. Can't get the rebound offensively, so we'll go over to the Mustangs with 8:39 to go. Warren Jr. brings it across the timeline to Kelton. To Gordon. Council Jr. To Kelton on the baseline. Has space to operate, spins, hook shot, cannot go. Crashing on the boards, nothing there, and Lewis with the defensive board. He has to be careful. He has 4 fouls in this one. As good hustle by Kelton, knocked it away from Balbuena, and he will bring in the inbound. As Fred Rijos, a sophomore, 18 starts, will check in. At 14 in that OT loss to Monroe College. That was down in Brooklyn. Of course, ASA was able to claw back in the second half. This one, shots just not able to fall. They have gotten the stops when needed, as Crandon, a big offensive board, gets another one and draws contact from Gordon going up. So free throws upcoming for ASA, trying to trim this down to an 11-point lead. Crandon will be at the free throw line. Keem, a freshman center, 13 starts, 21 games in the regular season. Averaged 12.6 points per game. Of course, that 3rd on the team. He misses the first of 2. Try to at least go 1 for 2. He's known for rebounding, but he could be a good double-double guy. And shown that hook shot to be strong, just has not fallen, and he missed 2 crucial free throws there. Right now cannot be missed at all. Every chance ASA has try to trim down this double-digit deficit. They have to make them. And now can the Mustangs make them pay? Council Jr. to Keith Warren Jr. Head fakes, 3 unloaded. That one could not go. And Crandon with a big defensive board. That is 10th. So now 5 straight double-digit rebound games for him. He has 238, which is tops on this team, and draws contact in transition. So he'll go back for free throws. as that'll be the 4th foul for David Gordon. So now 4 fouls on him and Mohammed. Two by Braylon Joe. Of course, the man just fouled, Akeem Cramden. He has 2 fouls. Of course, that kept him out a majority of the first half. And you could really, with the way ASA was playing defensively, if he was in there just to provide some scoring, could have been an interesting mark going into halftime as he misses his 3rd consecutive free throw. Went 0 for 2 last time. Freshman will return hopefully next year for Jody King's squad as he goes 1 for 2. And free throw is just so important. If ASA is able to make 4 of those, you have yourself a 9-point game. Instead, it's just 12. As Keith Warren Jr. with it. 2 30-point performances for him this year. One of those against Cape Fear. Part of that massive comeback at the Brunswick Community College Holiday Tournament. Gordon trying to convert on the offensive side, and does! Gets the rebound, powers through, and a big 3-point play. Opportunity coming up for David. The man from Montego Bay, Jamaica. Against Richard Bland, had a double-double earlier this season with 12 points and 11 rebounds. Trying to come away now with a nice 3-point play. And does. As he had 11 in that double OT win against Lackawanna. And a timeout now going to be taken on the floor as he gets his first 3 points of this one. Lead back to 15, largest it has been for the Mustangs as they'll call a 30-second timeout. John Kelly Jr., your producer and director is Alexavius Smith. I am the SID of the Monroe Express. After this one, go to MonroeExpress.com/watch as the 2nd-seeded Monroe Express single-season record with 19 wins this year will take on their interborough rival in Bronx Community College. And it was in this gym that you could really take a bigger storyline out of it. 69-62 surprised the Express team that was on a roll, currently at the time 13th in the country. And while Coach Chris Neely's squad playing probably some of their best basketball of the season, despite a hiccup against Nassau Community College and what was considered one of the craziest days this year in scheduling. They've been playing well, but they've been itching. Of course, they beat Bronx in the Bronx in the 2nd game, and of course try and knock off the Broncos, who are the 7th seed. Still 6:55 to go in this one. The lead 15 for the Mustangs. And the largest they have led by, but Yaw throws it down. So he has 14. That's a team high. Council Jr. in transition puts it down. And that's the one thing about it. You got to be able to get back on D, and great read by Council Jr. getting down the floor, laying it up, and Keith Warren Jr. with his 4th assist. He has 76 on the year. That's 3rd on the team as he's eyeing up Linguisi Obongo. Crandon looking underneath. Rijos puts it down. ASA within 13 as Warren Jr. to Kelton. No cutter from Gill. Keith Warren Jr. will just reset. 7 assists. It's his team high this year, and he got that at Richard Bland College. He has 4 today. Council Jr. on the drive. Out to Gordon. He uncorks a 3. That one off the mark. Crandon with the rebound, his 11th, 5th straight double-digit rebound game from the freshman center, and first-team All-Region 15 selection. As Linguisi Obongo lost control. Warren Jr., Council Jr., Jr. to Jr., and Melvin Council has the lead back to 15 for the Mustangs. Largest it has been. He has 31 points, his 3rd 30-point performance in his last 4, 2nd straight against ASA. He had 34 in that OT victory. The end of the year, Lewis for 3. That one pinballs out and goes down. So Jody King going to call a timeout. And the lead now down to 12, final 5:02 to go. Winner of this one will take on Parkham in the regional final on Friday at Westchester College. Of course, the Mustangs won region last time they suited up for basketball before the pandemic. Trying to get to the district championship again. They fell to Allegheny in the final seconds. ASA trying to make a rally, go there as well. As go to MonroeExpress.com/watch. After this one, the Monroe Express will be in action, second seed against Bronx Community College. While there won't be an announcer on the call, you can see it on the Monroe Express YouTube page as Isaiah Stone and company trying to go to the semifinals. The women, of course, for the Monroe Express, Monroe Mustangs are in the region tournament. They're not hosting, but the Monroe Express and Jeremy Thompson's squad are hosting. And depending on how the bracket could be shaken up, men could be playing here as well for the Express all this weekend. But the Monroe Express women's basketball program on Saturday and Sunday will be playing here, trying to get their first ever Region 15 title. They're the top seed, as it'll be a busy weekend of basketball for the Monroe Express as the SID primed and ready. As playoff time, it's win or go home for all of these squads. So out of the ASA timeout. .5:02 to go. Mustangs trying to get win 25. Came in with 3 straight wins. First, it just only allowed 9 second-half points. Close between both of these squads, but every time ASA gets closer, the Mustangs hit a huge shot and just extend the advantage. Melvin Council to Gordon. Hands to Warren Jr. Milking the clock here. 5 on the shot clock. Gordon traveled. So now ASA gets the much-needed turnover. Now they got to convert it into points. There's 4:34 to go. Nguisi Obongo, Yaw down low. Balboa has 10, Yaw has 14. Scoring has to come now for ASA. Nguisi Obongo to Rijos on the baseline. 10 to shoot to Lewis. Hook shot is off the back iron. Pinballed around and the defensive board grabbed by Keith Warren Jr. And then a foul by Nguisi Obongo. So that will be the 8th, and it'll be a 1-on-1 situation for the Mustangs as Hamdel Muhammad will check in. Replace David Gordon. As Keith Warren Jr. at the line. 1-and-1. Makes the first of them. 88.9% from the free throw line the Mustangs are shooting. Didn't have free throws for a long time throughout that first half. Didn't hurt them as Warren Jr. makes both, so now he has 8. As the lead to 14. 15 is the largest it has been for the Mustangs. Can ASA mount a charge? Lewis. Driving on Gill, almost lost control. Good job by Gill. And it will stay with ASA. Lewis gets it on the inbound, 8 to shoot. ASA's got to go here, 5 to shoot. Yaw had that knocked away. Warren Jr. to Melvin Council Jr. Extra feed. As Gill drilled that at Kelton, he lost control, and a big steal by Nguisi Obongo. Trying to go up to Crandon and threw it away with 3:20 to go. And those are much needed possessions that 2 points would just be so big. And it allows the Mustangs now to kind of slow things down, work the clock. As Keith Warren Jr. across the timeline. I wonder right now, does Jody King think about fouling, try to save some time? Kelton skying in and laying it home. He's in double figures. Taiji, fifth in his last 7 games, as he has 10 points. So 2 players in double figures for each squad, as Crandon was not ready for that one. And now the lead, the 16 for Monroe, largest it has been with 2:41 to go. Kelton here on the inbound. That's really important here from Coach Brosted's squad, trying to find scoring, not just from number 1, but he's starting to see it. And there's other players that clearly had stepped up earlier in the season and starting to come together. Just so crucial as Kelton looking for a second consecutive bucket. That one off the mark. Lewis with the rebound. That's his 6th of the night. Underneath the yaw. And he gets fouled by Hamdel Muhammad, and that will be the 5th for Muhammad. And on top of it, now he gets a technical foul, so unable to control his emotions there a bit. So this really right now, if you look at it for ASA, really big, because you're talking about potentially here a 4-point swing and a possession that allow you to get down to 12, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're right there in single digits with an opportunity to come back with 2:15. So Hamdel Muhammad gets a technical foul. His night is done as the sophomore finishes tonight. 5 rebounds and 6 points. And 2 free throws good by Rijos. So now Yaw will have his 2 free throws. Then the possession will go to ASA. So you're looking at potentially what could be a 7 or 6 point swing. And all of a sudden you got yourself a tight battle when you were kind of walking away with it, as Danicic in for Muhammad, as Yaw cannot make the first of 2. Yaw, air ball on the second one, and now he'll hear it from the crowd. The Mustangs with it, as 0 for 2 at the line, and here's Danicic. And now you wonder, do you start seeing fouling by ASA? You'd want to try to conserve some time. 14-point lead for the Mustangs. As Council Jr. milking it, 4 to shoot. Keith Warren Jr. 3 ball. That one no good, and I thought that actually hit the back of the iron. Fans unhappy with it. I have to agree with them. That hit the back of the iron from where I saw it with my eyes. But a shot, 24-second shot clock violation, and they will give it over to ASA. 16, largest Monroe is led by this evening. ASA, can they get one more run here? Rijos off the mark. Crandon gets it back and puts it up, and a 3-point play opportunity coming as Danicic going to be the man who gets the foul. Crandon with 8 points. Of course, the whole entire first half, he had 2 fouls. He basically was unable to make an impact because of that, and show why he had the struggles, as Rijos will come off. And Crandon completes the 3-point play. So it's just a 12-point game here, 1:32 to go. your ASA, you want to try to put the Mustangs on the free throw line. They'll just continue to work the clock. That's exactly what they want to do. And Melvin Council Jr. trying to calm down his cohorts. Kicks out. Danicic for three. That one off the back iron, and Yaw with the rebound. His 8th today as Crandon then travels. And what was a really crucial key transition bucket that ASA needed. Unable to get it. And right now, if you're Jody King, you got to foul to at least give yourself some time to set up a possession and get some shots. As Kelton fouled by Yaw, so he will go to the free throw line. Free throws, when they've had to shoot them, Monroe's been great. 90%, 9 for 10 from the charity stripe. That is the 5th foul for Israel Yaw, so the big guy who led all scorers in this one with 14 is out. And Balbuena will come in. Sophomore guard. 19 coming in here, double figure games, now 20. So Yaw fouls out. Melvin Council Jr. will check out. 31 for him, 3 30-point games in his last 4 as Kelton continue to add to another double figure game. 5 in his last 7, if you consider 5 here tonight. Came in 3rd at 9.1 points per game, just playing so well the first team, all Region 15 player. And a quick timeout here by Coach Brostad as his team up by 13 and cruising and motoring their way en route to a regional final date against Harcum Community College. So, give you a little background here, at least on the air. Monroe did beat Harcum. Of course, last time these two played, it was just a 3-point loss by the Mustangs. They won here by 16 back in January. Shot 45% in that one. That was part of that red hot 7-game winning streak. Of course, they knocked off the ranked Bears and also brought Sullivan Community College, who's in the top 10 in the country, also a Region 15 member, D2. Gave them their first loss of the year. Of course, Melvin Council Jr., 18 points down the stretch in that one to help them win. And it'll be a good battle between the Bears and Mustangs. As ASA trying to make one final push, Crandon throws it down. So now it's got to be a quick foul. And instead, Jody King will look for a timeout. So it's an 11-point game, 16 largest that Monroe has led by. And if the Mustangs can knock down a couple more free throws, they will be on their way to another regional final. Of course, they knocked off Harcum last time. Of course, that game will be at Westchester College on Friday. Monroe Express men will follow this one, close out this doubleheader at 8. Second seed against the 7th-seeded Bronx Community College Broncos of the CUNY. And, of course, Gian Batista, former Express player, named CUNY Player of the Year at the 4-year level in the CUNY. And the man who was the single-season record holder in rebounds, had that smash this year by Isaiah Stone. He is in the top 10 in the country in rebounds. Josiah Barnes, top 10 in assists. On the SID for the Express, John Kelly Jr. Tune in on MonroeExpress.com/watch for the D3 portion of the Region 15 tournament. This will be the quarters in the Broncos of the Bronx. 3rd time these two will meet. They split the season series on the Monroe Express. Packed house here at the MAC. Melvin Council Jr., 31 points. Taiji Kelton, 12 points for him. Sophomores that being sent off on a high note. And right now, one of them that was honored first Brandon Hodge is in. Campbell, another one that was honored. Danicic, Joe, Gill in the 5. So Joe, 45 seconds to go. Surprised that ASA won't foul. And this works just to what the Mustangs want to do. And Lewis going to draw contact. That is his 5th foul. So he is fouled out. Leading scorer in this one, Yaw, with 14 fouling out as well for ASA. And the Mustangs will be moving on to the regional final, which will be at Westchester College on Friday. And go to MonroeMustangs.com, MonroeCollegeMustangs.com to get the time of the game. See if there's a stream. 25th win. Coach Ronstadt's squad, the region coach of the year. And that's a common practice here in New Rochelle. And he has set the bar that way as Joe cannot knock down the first of 2. This is the second. Crandon with the board. Leads all rebounders here. 12 tonight as Balbuena off the mark. And a traveling violation. As good offensive board by Jerome Famous, but then he travels. And it will go over here to the Mustangs. They just try to run the clock out here. Brandon Hodge. Danicic back to Hodge. And he's fouled. So he'll go to the free throw line. Good way to close this one out. ASA. Still a good season here for Jody King, despite this result. Moving up to D1. 10 games were canceled this year. However, they were able to really muscle through. Some talented players coming back, including Akeem Crandon next year. And they always try to make themselves a player. No matter what, you have to always watch out for this program. No matter where they're named or wherever they have their operations, as Janicic stuffed Balbuena. 18 seconds to go. As Linguisi on bongo, no good. And Danicic with the defensive board, and that's going to do it. As the Mustangs are going to run away here and go to the region final, as they will take on Harcum. And very interesting, because that'll be the 3rd time these two will play again. Of course, the season series was split. Very close. Mustangs able to beat them here and lost at Harcum. And that will be your final as Janicic makes the first of 2. Special thanks here to my colleague up here at New Rochelle, David Spiegel, getting us ready for this broadcast as Balbuena will come off. Sophomore gets a hug from Jody King. 20 double-figure games for him this year as Janicic knocks down. As 8 seconds to go, final possession for ASA. And Crandon with an authority dunk, so that'll be a double-double for him. As the clock will go 3, 2, 1, and the Mustangs will go to the region final to face a common foe in Harcum as they defeat ASA here in the semis, 67-55. For my producer and director, Alexavia Smith, I'm John Kelly Jr., SID of the Monroe Express. Tune into the final part of this doubleheader on MonroeExpress.com/watch as the Monroe Express men's basketball team takes on the Bronx Community College. 67-55 the final as the Mustangs move on to the region final this Friday.